Okay then, Helldivers, we are back and we have got a lot to go over today. We've got a brand new major order that's come through the midst finally, and it takes us over to the Terminid sector. So we're going to be taking a look at that and what it is that means. Also on top of it, Johan has posted up a few interesting features that you guys may want to hear about, and potentially may not even be good news. And the Baskinator comes out with an interesting comment as to what that could mean. Well, we're going to take a look into it today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure you check out our sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can buy your video games cheaper for PC and consoles with the best deals, offers, promotions, and discounts. It's an absolute no-brainer, so get down to the description, click the link, and get your games a little bit cheaper today. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what it is that they've got for us, as I think this is about to get interesting. As you know, we've been taken over to the Terminid sector for a very, very lovely holiday with the bugs, with a brand new briefing right here stating the Xenentomology Center of Touring has detected a sharp increase in Terminid spore overflow from the gloom, cascading through all Terminid occupied worlds and greatly accelerating bug expansion. Multiple outbreaks have already been detected in the Farsight sector, and the Helldivers must respond immediately to stem further outbreaks. The Terminid outbreak risk level is currently very high. New outbreaks are far more likely on the Terminid adjacent worlds, and full Terminid infestation of new worlds could precipitate additional outbreaks, exasperating the situation. Rapid containment is the highest priority, and citizens in threatened worlds have been issued evacuation standby orders with off-planet transport on standby for high-priority civilians and their tallest children, but catastrophic loss relies solely on the swift action of the Helldivers. Well, this is definitely an interesting factor, as our new major order takes us into a 5-day, 17-hour original input, but what we're looking at right now is over the next 5 days, you are going to need to defend against 5 attacks from the Terminids and hold Polaris Prime and Fenrir 3 until the major order eventually does expire. So the likelihood is we are going to experience quite a few attacks on the Terminid sector, and then during the last 24 hours to 48 hours, we will have attacks on Fenrir 3 and Polaris Prime, just to kind of test us a little bit further. By this point, we kind of know that this happens quite a lot. Right now, we seem to be doing okay, and at the point of checking the Galactic War map, we're likely to clear off one of the 5 very soon, and unfortunately, because this is one of those major orders where it's a when the major order expires, we are literally going to have to run this out for the next 5 days while they solidify the rest of the storyline, hopefully leading to a bit more of a positive output. For those of you guys who are wondering what your personal order is, it's the kill for 15 enemies using the spear, which is definitely an interestingly fun one, and you guys can get that done quite quickly with the spear on the Illuminate sector, taking it towards the voteless. Just get the one mission done and head back over to the bugs to manage democracy further. It's going to be an interesting few days indeed as to what it is they're going to bring to the table at the end of this. We'll have to wait and see, because the in-game files have been changing so much every damn day. With the primary one that we're all intrigued about, the release one latest, it seems to be the one that gets worked on the most, which essentially means that a new patch is due to come into the works, and with us being on the weekend, the likelihood is by the time we come out of the weekend and move into the next beginning of the next week, we are likely to have a new patch come in the works, which is, well, definitely overdue, seeing as we've been through the entire Christmas period with practically nothing. So fingers crossed we get a decent come through on that one, because I think it could definitely be interesting, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Because as of right now, the team are back together to bring you some amazing Helldivers 2 content. Evidently, this was their final party point by the looks of things, celebrating the new year, and glad to be back together. And from everybody here on the Cloud Plays channel and the community, we welcome you all back, and let's see what it is that you guys have got come 2025 and bring us some incredible content thus far. But on top of that, he has also answered a question that we, well, didn't really want the answer to. He states right here, after somebody asked if you can confirm if Arrowhead will be involved with the production of Helldivers 2 movie to ensure the film stays faithful to the games, he sent the message that we didn't really ever want to see. He states, hey, I've been dodging this question. The short answer is yes. The long answer is that we'll see. We are not Hollywood people, and we don't know what it takes to make a movie, and therefore we don't and shouldn't have final say. So this is going to be an interesting venture. I'm seeing the way that they're kind of looking at this is they're going to put the lore narrative forward, and I hope that Sony Productions actually do follow it. But in hindsight, the way that this could work is pretty much the same way that most Sony production films genuinely do work. They're probably likely to ignore a lot of it. But the proof will be in the pudding when it eventually comes out, and we're going to be waiting a little while. But just know that Arrowhead are not going to be preoccupied with the film. They're going to continue bussing on the game, so I'm really excited to see what they can do with that. Because it seems that marketing is going to be going down an all-time high. Apparently there's been conversations inside of the studio with regards to new stuff about John Helldiver and Craigle Thomas coming to the fold a bit more. The Baskinator put up a message right here as somebody asked, can we pretty please have a cherry on top with more Craigle Thomas? And she stated that our team has been chatting with him about trying to do more stuff together. We need our John Helldiver. So it does seem that Craigle Thomas will be taking the main role parting, and even though he's already been there for the most of it, there should be some more work in the pipeline with some cool stuff that they ended up doing together, which I always love because the comedic value from this guy is second to none. But moving forward, you guys have been taken to the Reddit and putting forward some things that you are not happy about or don't want to see changing. Seems that the Major Order did put in a bit of a twist after we had a few days with no MO, leading a lot of people to believe that the next one was going to be relatively important. This one is gloom related, but again, it's still a stepping stone to find out what it is that's happening, and you guys don't seem to be too happy. Posting this up right here of defend against 5 attacks again with 5,000 upvotes and the disappointing look that you guys were giving. It generally seems to see that actually we kind of want some more interesting MOs with hopefully some new mission objectives soon. It's definitely long overdue and something that we've all been waiting for. And this one right here states, Arrowhead, please don't fix Siege Ready. Now this one's quite an interesting conversation because they go on to state the following. If you don't know, the Siege Ready passive in its current state is bugged to not only increase the ammo reserves and reload speed of your primary weapon, but of your secondary and non-backpack support weapon, aka machine guns, flamethrowers, and etc. Currently, this is balanced fun, and it fills the endurance role. If it were to be fixed, it would make it way worse. Please just leave it as it is, and if you have to, change the description to match its current effect. I've been informed by a few people on this post that it actually does not increase the reload speed of non-backpack weapons. Since this is the case, it's even more balanced than I thought. So obviously we're looking at a basis of there being no increase in the reload speed, although the ammo reserve does get impacted on the support weapons not related to a backpack, just to clarify what that edit was all about. But it does seem to be an interesting venture, and I think that actually right now the game is probably in its most balanced state, and I think that if they start tankering around and tinkering about with other things with regards to the numbers at the moment, we could well see some really negative inputs. I don't want to see this game do what it did last year. It was a roller coaster journey of extreme highs and tremendous lows, and hopefully we managed to learn from our mistakes, and last year is not a reproduction of what is going to happen this year. Now we're going to jump straight into your top comments, because your comments this time round were absolutely ginormous. So we're going to see what it is that you guys have to say in the last video, because it was quite an interesting one. It states right here, for the gas weapon, it's simple. The dog breath needs to be reworked so that it just applies the gas effect and moves on to the next target. It is right now, it's only focus on one enemy at a time, and it doesn't stop until they die. For the sterilizer, it needs longer range, and gas needs to linger in the air for 2 seconds, plus it needs to hurt Bile-Titans, Impalers, and other tough enemies. Now for me, I think that they hold some very valid points right there, although the obvious issue there is that you will have to obviously have timer points or attack timer points on there with regards to the dog breath. Having it have a attack and then dealing till death, it just seems to be kind of the obvious narrative in the way that they're going to move it. I can't imagine them changing it to that degree, and if they do, well, then I'll swallow my words. But it's not likely that they'd have to do that, because they would then have to do that in spite of it being a matching code point to the other backpacks that we already have, such as the laser and the standardized Liberator version. So it'd be interesting, but let me know what your ideas are in the comment section below, as I think that there is genuinely a massive problem with regards to it. And somebody else commented on the same thing right here, stating that I actually have the top rated comment inside of the Reddit thread. It's mainly about how they shouldn't just buff the damage to make the green flamethrowers, and that they even need to increase how long they apply the gas effect effect since they are concentrated sprays rather than just gas, or let them leave the lingering gas cloud like the other gas weapons. So pretty much it's a duplicate message to what was said previously. Now this next one right here is about Martel, and this was a planet that has been taking, well, quite a lot of criticism just recently with it not being able to be liberated at ease, even though it was at a 0% decay rate. It was kind of baffling, but nonetheless, they stay right here. A lot of us tried to liberate Martel, but I know on the Discord, when we finally liberated Yalivar, a bunch of bug divers kept saying Martel was pointless and a waste of time. So even though we had all those people on the bot front, a bunch just went straight back to the bugs and squids. Didn't help. Akmar 4 was being invaded and was deemed as more important. I think the story of Martel is quite an interesting one, as that's been going on for weeks now, and there's been about 1,000 Helldivers just consistently trying to complete that one. I think it's quite funny, but at the same time, it'd be nice to get that liberation done and that sector closed off. Anywho, I digress. That's unfortunately all we've got time for today. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. Thank you so much again for watching, guys, and all your support. We are in Romania for just another couple of days now before we head back home to the office and start bringing out some new content with regards to live streams. Thanks again for checking it out, guys. Appreciate you all, and as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.